Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our Islander Housing Living on Campus webinar. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to join us to learn about applying to housing, learning about our different floor plan options, meal plan options, and just things that might get you ready for the fall semester. This presentation is geared towards prospective and admitted students, so please feel free to ask any questions you might have. Gabby, if you'll go to the next slide, please. I'd like to first introduce myself. My name is Rini Zamora. I serve as the Director of Campus Visits. So I have the fun job of welcoming a whole bunch of new students to the university and really just sharing what it is that we have to offer to you. But I'd also like to just introduce quickly my colleague, Gabriella Bidwell. She is the Marketing and Communications Manager for Auxiliary Services that oversees Islander Housing. She is going to take over the presentation here momentarily, and we'll be sharing all of the great information for you. I do want to share that this presentation will be recorded, and so you'll be able to access this a little bit later. Gabby, if you'll go to the next slide, please. So just know that if you go back to our tour.tamucc.edu website and click on the webinars and online experiences page, you'll be able to see the recording of this presentation for future use. But please feel free to take screenshots, ask questions that you might have. Down below on the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see that there is a Q&A feature. If you can do me a big favor, let me know where you are coming in from. What city are you from so that we can test this Q&A feature just to make sure that it's working. I see quite a bit of you are logged in, so we just want to test the Q&A. But let us know where you're from. I already see Bernie. Great. I see Katie in Atlanta, Georgia. Amazing. So it's working. And so myself and my colleague Julie, who you might see on the screen also, will be monitoring the Q&A. But I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Gabby, and she'll take the lead. And as you ask any questions through the Q&A, I'll pop back up to make sure that they get answered. Gabby, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming this evening and learning more about Islander housing. I'm here to talk through all the details, but please feel free to ask questions like Rini said, and I'm more than happy to answer them. So, welcome to Islander Housing. One of the best parts to me, of course, I'm a little biased, of the Island University. We have two properties that are considered on-campus living, but there is one that is truly on the island, and then there is Momentum Village, which is just slightly down the road. So our Miramar property is the one that is on the island. It steps away from classes, dining, experiences, and everything that your student or you will need here at the Island University. We have secure buildings, we have state-of-the-art locks, and we have safety features implemented around property, including cameras and security personnel. After students live their first year on the island with us, as they are required to live at Miramar, returning islanders have the option to move to Momentum Village, just slightly down the road. Momentum Village offers a more private, kind of upscale living for our returning students with fully furnished apartments that have their own private rooms and bathrooms. The furniture there is leather style. The amenities are resort style. There are barbecue grills, recreation centers, a hot tub, basketball court, and more. So Miramar is amazing as it's just steps away from classes and everything that you'll need, but our Momentum Village property offers a lot to look forward to. A little bit more about Miramar, which is where all of our first year Islanders are required to live. There are 22 buildings that offer a variety of living styles. There are the traditional residence halls that you might be a little bit more familiar with, and there's apartment style living. There are 7 unique floor plans, all the way from traditional with 2 people in 1 room to apartments with multiple rooms and multiple bathrooms. However, all of these things are close to all of the great amenities. So there is a swimming pool that you can swim at and just overlook the bay and all of the clear blue water. There's the palm trees. There is an on-site recreation table, a room that has pool tables, TVs, and more. Of course, it comes equipped with on-site laundry rooms inside of the residence halls and then at certain locations for the apartments. All of the washers and dryer are free to use, and it's just steps away from the scenic hike and bike trail if you want to get out for a walk or a jog or a break. We take safety and security extremely seriously here on the island, and that's why we have our Wi-Fi enabled locks. So when students come to the Island University, they are given a Islander sand dollar, and that's kind of their island ID. It's their passcode for everything. So instead of traditional keys that can get lost, stolen, or anything else, they have their island ID. They can either have it physically on a card or they can have it on their phone added to their Apple Wallet. Even if their phone is dead, even if they can't get into their Apple Wallet, all they need to do is touch their phone to their locks and they will be able to access their apartment. The locks are an extremely great feature of Islander housing because it really helps keep all of our residents safe and protected. Additionally, we have advanced security cameras. So our university police department oversees the security of all Islander housing properties, and that includes their security cameras. So we're constantly monitoring what is happening in order to keep residents safe. Additionally, we have 24/7 professional residence life staff available to your student or to you at any time. So we have resident assistants, which will be your resident or your student's first point of contact. They are university students who work as a student employee as a resident assistant to provide that first touch base of help. But additionally, we have residence life staff. These are professional staff members who live on property and are just steps away in case your student needs anything beyond what their resident assistant can provide them. 24/7, 365, we are on the property and we are accessible to students. We are committed to safety and we are committed to ensuring that we create a secure living environment for all of our residents where they can learn and they can grow and they can just be students together. There is a residency requirement here at TAMU-CC. So students who do not meet the exemptions, which would be the majority of students, are required to live on campus with us at our Miramar property. This is for a variety of reasons, but there's been lots and lots of research that have shown that students who live on campus have higher GPAs, are more likely to become involved in things like campus activities or clubs, organizations, extracurriculars. They're more likely to use campus resources and they graduate in less time and they have a greater sense of belonging. So living on campus as a first year student is a critical part of your Islanders experience. Now, there are some exemptions to this requirement. So students who have graduated from high school more than 12 months before starting classes will be age 21 or older or have a permanent address in one of the following counties. Now, there are a variety of floor plans available to students to choose and apply from. And so together we're going to walk through a couple of them. This is, well, actually all of them. This is our traditional floor plan. It has a lofted bed in it. This is one room with one bathroom that is shared by two students. This option is excellent if you are looking for cost savings or for an environment that will really help you bond with your roommate. So we have found that a lot of our students living in the traditional environment have formed really close friendships with their roommate in this setup and have really enjoyed being there together. The next is our 1-by-1 suite. This is where each student has a bedroom and their area. They have a spot where they can put their own mini fridge and microwave, and then they have their own sink, but they do share a shower and toilet. This option is great if your resident is looking for that roommate connection to get closer, but also wants a little bit of privacy. I will add that this is where I lived as a student on campus. I went here as an undergraduate. I got my master's degree from here, and I am still working here today. So living in Coral in this suite really helped start me out from in a good way. The next is the 1-by-1 shared. So this is a different style of a shared room, but it is quite spacious. So each resident has their own sort of sleeping space and their own space to put their belongings, but they do share a bathroom within the one unit. I'll play that video one more time because it's a little bit quick. But you can see the first space, the bathroom on the left, and then another space is available for their roommate. The next is a 2-by-1 apartment. As you can see, there's quite a bit more space in this floor plan style, and it gives you an idea of what the apartments look like. So there's one bathroom and 2 bedrooms for the students to use. It is extremely spacious. I will say that I believe that our properties have an excellent amount of space for students, and we've heard really positive things about that. The next piece of living on campus, besides choosing your floor plan, choosing your roommates, and choosing all of those great things, is dining. So dining is a really important part of the student experience, and that's why here at the Island University, we strive to excel in all of those things in Islander dining. So recently, our dining hall has been renovated and to a state-of-the-art and modern, inviting atmosphere that students really enjoy. We have upgraded to state-of-the-art equipment over the years that give us a more enhanced efficiency and quality. It allows us to especially cater to people with dietary restrictions. For example, I am extremely gluten-free, but I always have something to eat at the dining hall because there is a avoiding gluten station there. So those upgrades over time have really lended itself to being able for us to provide a variety of meal options that meet the tastes and needs of all of our students. And we find that the dining hall is a gathering space for community and for celebration and for just coming together to enjoy experiences over food. All residents living at Miramar are required to have a meal plan, and there are a couple different meal plans to choose from. So any resident that is living inside of a residence hall is required to purchase the Island 200 meal plan. That is the first one there. Students who are living in um, the apartment styles, they can choose between purchasing an Island 200 or between purchasing a Beach 160. And that's to their preference as they do have a kitchen directly in their living space. They're able to have a little bit more flexibility there. So that's why they can choose either one, but either one is able to upgrade to an unlimited meal plan. If you have not already applied to live with us at Islander Housing, I would really encourage you to do so today. Um, our assignments are made on a first come, first serve basis. And so we've already had tons and tons and tons of students apply. You don't want to wait anymore and you don't want to risk maybe not getting the space that you would like because of not applying early enough. So if you haven't applied already, it is a $50 application fee, but an application is not a contract. It's not a legally binding document, but it does get your name in there and it does put you in that queue for when our assignments team is making decisions. So do not wait, apply right now, scan the QR code, save it for later, but definitely put it in your back pocket that this is something that you want to be doing as soon as possible. The
Gabby, do
next,
you mind if I interrupt you just really quickly?
uh-huh.
We don't have any questions in the chat just yet, but before we talk about the important, roommate part of this presentation, wanted to see if anyone did have some questions about specific floor plans or meal plans that we can answer while this is on, while we just presented that information. Please feel free to do that in the Q&A. We again want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered before this webinar ends. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to leave them in the Q&A. And we'll give it a couple of seconds, and if not, we'll move on to the roommate part of the presentation. Okay, so there's a question here. Is there a 4x2 apartment floor plan at Miramar?
There is, I just did not have a video of it for this presentation, but you can definitely select that as an option on your application.
And so what that is, folks, it's essentially the same as the two-bedroom, one restroom apartment. You would just mirror one side of the apartment to the other side and live with three other folks. Another question is, do we have to accept the university? Oh, do we have to be accepted to the university before applying for housing?
You will be required to be accepted to the university before applying because in order to access the portal to submit an application, you will need your Islander ID and password that's set up for your account in order to access that application. So yes.
Great. So how do students find out when the rooms will be assigned, and how do you make sure that the application went through?
So if you have any uncertainty about the application, if it came through or not, please just email or give our office a call. Anybody who answers the phone or answers your email will be able to answer that question for you. And then we will begin distributing contracts to be signed in sort of the mid-July period. It'll come out in waves. I would like to add at this time that you do have to attend your Islander launch orientation in order for your contract to remain valid. But I would also like to emphasize that the date that you sign up for your Islander launch orientation will not affect your first come, first serve spot to get your assignment. So if you submit, or if you've already submitted your application now and you're in line for your preferred room space and you choose the last Islander launch orientation, you will not be negatively impacted by that. We just need to make sure that you're going to launch before we're sending out that room assignment, but that room assignments, we're currently making them now, keeping up with those sort of things.
And that leads to just a little plug here. We definitely encourage you to sign up for Islander Launch orientation as soon as possible, especially if you're a new first time in college student. The sooner you come to orientation, the better class schedule you'll have. You'll get your assignments a little bit sooner. So definitely register for that. Um, and there are a couple other questions about roommates, which we'll get to here in a minute. And same for meal plans, which I believe you're going to cover here in a second as well. So we'll wait for those. But
The
someone
meal
is just
plan,
asking. Oh,
oh, I'm sorry. The meal plans I did have
oh,
more on a previous slide. Is the meal plan
okay.
one? I can answer that one, I believe.
Okay. So the question was, which one is a meal plan for incoming freshmen?
So both of these are for incoming freshmen, but the one that you choose will be determined on what floor plan that you are placed in. So if you choose to be in the traditional floor plan or the one where that's just the shared bathroom, you're going to a Island 200 meal plan will be applied to your account. If you're in an apartment style floor plan, you'll have the opportunity to choose between the Island 200 or the Beach 160 as they do have a kitchen inside of their apartment. So all residence hall residents are assigned the Island 200 plan. The residents in the apartments have a little bit more flexibility there, but both can upgrade to an unlimited plan.
Okay. And then this one question is basically, how do you know if you're in line for a room? It's simply just submitting your application, right? And then
Yes.
registering for orientation.
That's correct. As soon as you submit your application and you can see that successfully, we can see it on our side, and our assignments team is working diligently to not only look at your style preferences between the floor plans, but how you match up with other people who have submitted the same preferences. So roommate matching is important to us, and it's important that you're living with somebody who's compatible to you. So if you submitted it, you are in line, but at any time you can call the front office or email and we can tell you the options that you selected. If you're a parent and you are emailing on behalf of your student, you would need a FERPA waiver on file to access that information. But if you're a student, you can ask that at any time and we can provide that information to you.
Okay. Um, can students have unlimited dining dollars?
I can get back to you on that. I believe in the unlimited meal plan, but let me check before providing a firm answer.
Yeah, and we'll have one of either myself or my colleague Julie, who's on here as well. We'll check that and we'll make sure that we answer that in the chat too. And then there's a question about move-in, and we'll get to that here towards the end of this presentation. Oh,
Yes.
someone's asking, or the meal swipes, not so much the dining dollars. So can students get unlimited meal swipes?
I believe that answers yes, but I'd like to
Yes.
verify before confirming.
Yeah, there is an option for the unlimited meal plan. If you would like to increase to that, that's definitely an option.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then almost here, do the groups. Okay, we'll get to the roommates. So they were starting to get questions about that. So I'll let you present on that. And then we'll come
Okay,
back for more questions. Thanks.
awesome. So the roommate groups, we often receive questions about how to create a roommate group, what is a roommate group, and what are we doing there. One of my team members has put together this tutorial, this walkthrough. If you need access to this after the presentation, that like Rini said at the beginning, this presentation is being recorded so that you can come back later and check it out. But when forming or requesting a roommate, you must do it within your application. So if you have a student and they already know who they want to live with, this information is for you, and this will tell you how they can request their ideal roommate. And if they don't know who they want to live with, it'll give more information about selecting a roommate that has similar interests as you.
Today, I'll be going over how to form a roommate group in the Islander housing application. So this is currently what the roommate groups page would look like on your application. You're going to click create a group. Then you're going to go in and create a group name specific for your group. Then you're going to create a new group password. Then you're going to confirm that password. The next section is going to be room profiles. So if you're interested in all gender housing or honors or stuff like that, you can select that. Then you're going to be able to go into suggest roommates and see people that be suggested to join your roommate group based off of y'all having similar characteristics. So if y'all both opted into all gender housing or if you both prefer the room cold, that's where you could see people like that. Then if you're looking for someone specific to make a roommate group with, you can actually search them by their screen name. And then when you find them, you can actually add them into your group. You can also search by people who share the same lifestyle questions as you, or if they opted into all gender housing or not, and find people who maybe meet the criteria that you're looking for. And then you can add them into your group as well. And then that's how you can see where you sent an outgoing request for someone to join your group, and they will actually receive an email saying that you requested them to join their group. And then you can decide whether or not you want them in your group or not. They would also have to opt into being in your group, and then you guys can verify that roommate group once you're all done. And here's how you would actually accept that. So you can accept or decline a roommate group invitation. And then once you're all done with your roommate group, you would verify your group, which is right there in the top left. And then you can also go in to edit the group, but just make sure that you edit and add all your members in whenever you're for sure that you're done with all of that. Then you're going to go into the verify group, because once you verified your group, you cannot make any more changes to your roommate group unless you email us. And then here's where you would see everyone in your group, and then you just press save and continue. And then you'll be taken to the contracts page where you'll see your contract available for signature, and you'll be emailed letting you know that it's available for you there.
Gabby, we have one question that's basically asking if they do the roommate group, is it almost essentially 100% that those are going to be their roommates? Can we guarantee or roommate matching if they've done it in a group?
So we can't necessarily guarantee that you will be placed with your roommate, but if you have placed yourself in a group, you've done so early, you're not waiting to the last minute. We do seriously prioritize putting you with your the people that you want to live with. There is an option on the application that will ask you if you want to um, prioritize your floor plan preference or your roommate group preference. So if you choose the roommate group preference, we are going to do everything in our possible power to ensure that you are placed with the people that you want to live with. Again, we can never guarantee everything because all assignments are based on a first come, first served basis and determined by property needs. However, we work diligently, and it's extremely important to us as Islander Housing team members that you are happy with your assignment.
All
Any
right.
other questions on groups, roommates?
I didn't see any. This might be an appropriate time to ask this one. It was about pets on campus.
Sure.
Can we have furry roommates or fishy roommates,
We do not allow pets on campus, no.
including fish?
I believe so. Kimbra, if you are in the audience and you want to chime in on that, I believe that fish are not permitted, but I might have that incorrect. The correct information for all of that would be 100% updated on our website, though. I just might not have it on the tip of my tongue for the fish one.
I've got Kimbra here. Yes, fish are allowed. Reptiles are not allowed. Birds are not allowed. Furry friends are not allowed, but you can have up to a 10-gallon tank per fish.
Great. Thank you, Kimbra. Kimbra, who is in the room with us, just to let everybody know, is our Associate Director for Residence Life. So she is the authority on that one. You can trust her. The next thing that we have on our agenda this evening is important deadlines. So May 28th through July 31st, again, is the Islander launch. I can speak from experience. Get signed up for that one. Don't wait. Once people start filling out the Islander launch applications of which ones they want to go to, they fill up fast. I've seen them close day after day after day. So if you know the one that you want to go to, get it done tonight. Get what you can done with your application, everything that you can for launch when that opens. I'm not sure, Rini, if it is open yet, but if it is open, then get it done as soon as you can.
It is open.
Okay, great. Get it in tonight because I can promise they are going to start flooding in, and they can close in hours. So you don't want to miss the spot that you want. Our next important one, we have two important deadlines on June 1st. So if you know that you are going to need certain disability related accommodations for your room, for example, if you have any accommodation regarding eyes, ears, anything else like that that might impact your room or style that you need to choose, please put in your application as soon as possible. We want to get you in a space, and we are dedicated to accommodating all disability accommodations. But after that June 1st deadline, and as space fills up, that's when it gets harder for us to guarantee those accommodations. We will do everything in our power possible, but make sure that if you have something that you need to fill out for, do so by the June 1st deadline so that we can guarantee to be able to accommodate you. Also, on June 1st, the roommate groups close for first year students. So first year Islanders, make sure that you're going in. One of the number one things that I see every season is you add your roommates to your group, but then you don't verify the group. Sometimes you don't want to verify it because you don't want it to close, or you don't want to verify it because maybe you just forget. It's very important that you verify your roommate group by this time, because even if they're in your group, if you haven't verified it and all parties haven't consented to it at that time, we won't see it on our end that that's your intention. So please make sure, if you want to select your roommate, to do so by that June 1st deadline. As I said earlier, in mid-July, that's when contracts are going to start being released in waves. When a contract is released, it is sent to your Islander email, and you have 48 hours from the time that you receive your contract to sign it. And we send as many reminders as we can, both email and text, but it's very important that you keep an eye on your Islander emails starting in the month of July so that you don't miss your 48-hour window. The next big one is August 18th. That's when our returning students come back and start beginning to move into momentum. And then August 21st is the big date.
one question going back to roommates. And it was kind of mentioned earlier, but if a student cannot find a roommate, at
Mhm.
that point, it's probably a good idea to do the lifestyle questionnaire.
Mhm.
And then at that point, they can try to match with someone that has similar personalities and lifestyle
Sure.
expectations and things like that.
Yes, so if you search around and you are able to find somebody who matches your um, preferences and you want to add them as a roommate, that's great. If not, our assignments team is looking at your preferences on the back end and the preferences of all those people who don't have roommates coming into college. I would say that the majority of students do not know who their roommate is going to be when they move in. So please don't feel pressured to know who you're going to live with. That's our job is to help set you up for success with a roommate who is compatible to the options that you've selected.
Another question was if a student is going to anchor camp, what day are they moving in?
The Anchor Camp team will announce that information once it's finalized. They are going through their planning phase right now, but as soon as that information is available to us and to the public, we will put it on our website, and the Anchor Camp people will be communicating that to you frequently.
And for those of you in the room that maybe don't know what Anchor Camp is, it is our freshman extended orientation camp where we bus students over to a lake, and it's a lot of opportunities to learn about our campus traditions, campus services, meet friends, things like that. So we definitely encourage it, and the perk would be a little bit of an earlier move-in. And so that'll be posted soon via their website and social media as well. Just like Gabby said. All right, Gabby, that's all I have.
Okay.
Real quick, oop, sorry, real quick, there is a question about what is move-in day like? Um,
Hmm.
and are the rooms cleaned prior to our arrival, or do we need to plan to clean when we arrive?
So all of our rooms, all summer long, we are preparing and turning them. So our facility team is going in, making repairs, doing preventative maintenance, and we have a team on campus that goes and cleans their room. Your room, you can expect to show up to a clean living environment. I will add that if you have certain requirements or cleanliness or things that are particular to you, your home, and your lifestyle, we encourage you that yes, please help your student come equipped to contain and keep a clean living environment, but it is an expectation that you can have to show up to a clean and habitable room that's comfortable and safe and will set you off for success from that first day. If you have any concerns whatsoever about your room when you move in, our entire staff is working 24/7 that week. And so you can contact your RA on property. They will get in contact with a professional staff member, and we will send somebody to address any and all concerns that you have in your room so that you can have the best move-in day possible. If anybody else has other move-in questions, feel free to ask as we go along. We're nearing the end of my slides. But if you want to see more about us and Islander Housing, I really encourage you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are extremely active on both of those platforms. It'll give you an idea of not only what's happening with Islander Housing, but what's going on the island campus that you can encourage your student to engage in. If you want content that's directed specifically to you as a parent or as a guardian or as anybody with a student, I highly encourage you to join the Islander Family Portal. So if you've never heard of the Islander Family Portal before, it is a tool that we have, and it's basically a social media platform just geared for people with students. And so you'll see helpful information there. Knowledge articles about the campus will be published. It'll help you keep up to date. And we as Islander Housing frequently publish important information on there for our parents to keep track of. So if you are a family member, a parent, extended family, or anybody with a student, this is going to be your best way to keep track of what's happening on campus. And if you see the need to nudge your student, maybe they want to go to our annual concert, Is Fest, or you think the holiday celebration Islander Lights would be for them. It's a great, great way to stay connected, and I encourage everybody to sign up for that. If you have any questions, you can email us or you can call us on our office phone. We are very dedicated to responding as quickly as possible to all emails and responding to calls as they come in. So we're available. Our office hours are posted online on the website, and so we have staff members there to assist you.
All right, so we are coming towards the end. And again, this is your opportunity now to ask any other questions that you might still need some clarification on. One question that we got, Gabby, was what size beds are in Miramar?
They are twins.
Twin size beds. Again, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. As we move forward, I also wanted to share that we're going to be hosting some more webinars. Gabby, do you mind going to the next slide just really quickly?
Sure. And on the beds, Kimber maybe, or Naftali, if you're in the room, I believe the privates might be full size beds, but that's posted on the website as well. But the rest are twins.
Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have upcoming Zoom webinars that you can participate in. They're on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. So if you need assistance with your financial aid or learning about the honors program, we're also going to have a specific webinar about move-in and what you can bring or can't bring. That's one of the questions that we have right now is what can students bring from home for move-in? And then another question was, is it possible to take out furniture like chairs from your room that are already in there?
It
Want
is
to get to that now?
Yeah, it's not, you are not permitted to remove any of the furniture that is in there. But if you have a concern with something that's in the room, feel free to email our housing staff and we're happy to work with you to see if we can provide a solution.
Another opportunity to visit campus and see these spaces for yourself will be at Admitted Student Day. Admitted Student Day is kind of like a celebratory event where we celebrate your acceptance to the university and just make sure that you're prepared for the upcoming semester. At Admitted Student Day, we'll have taste testing in the dining hall, a softball game, student panels, again, tours of 3 different housing floor plans. So it'll really give you a deep dive into student life. And so if you're able to come to campus on the 28th, we'd love to have you, and you can register for that the same way that you registered for this webinar. And if there's any underclassmen in the room that are still kind of shopping around and wanting to learn about specific majors, we'd love to also have you for Island Day on Saturday, April 25th. All right, and another question is there a limitation for house appliances for housing? I think this might be a question like, can I bring an air fryer or something with an open coil?
Right. So there are limitations regarding what types of appliances that you can bring. Those things are listed on our website. If they're not, they will be shortly. Our website's going to go through a renovation where we switch to move-in mode and we post everything you cannot have. But under no circumstances are there open coils. So like in your dorm, in your residence hall, you wouldn't be able to have a heating coil or a toaster. That's because if something were to fall into that element and it started on, that's the quickest way to start a really serious fire. And so more information about that will be released to you well before you move in so you can plan your move. I do believe air fryers are allowed in kitchens, but yes.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of clarification on the mattress sizes. So all residence halls are standard twin, including the traditional or excluding the traditional spaces. The traditional spaces are twin XLs, and the privates, if the apartments that are just a private apartment are full size beds.
Awesome. Thank you.
One question came in, is this webinar being recorded so that I can share it with somebody that couldn't make it? The answer is yes. This is going to get recorded, and either tonight or tomorrow it'll get posted on our website, tour.tamucc.edu, and then you'll click on the online experiences and webinars box to see a listing of the webinars that we have and the video library there. I don't see any other questions. If we don't have any, we'd just like to send a big thank you to everybody for joining us this evening. Any last minute questions? Okay. Well, again, this will be recorded. Oh, here we go. What size beds are in the 4x2?
The 4x2 is going to be the standard twin. The traditional one that would have the XL is going to be the one where there's the lofted beds, and then the private is going to be the full size.
All right. Well, if you have any other questions, like Gabby said, you can definitely send them an email. But Gabby, thank you for your time this evening, and thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate you again taking some time this evening to learn about us, and y'all have a great rest of your night.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everyone.